So it's been about 3 months since Delta Force came out, and as we all know, Delta Force is competing with multiple different genres of games, different titles. It's going after the extraction shooter players, it's going after the combined arms shooter players that mostly play Battlefield, and I do think competition is a good thing. But as the thumbnail says, I've learned over these past 3 months that sure, you can compete in a genre, but you can never replace a well-done original. And that is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to discuss the next Battlefield, Delta Force, and even some Battlefield 2042 in this video. So be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you plan on following multiple different FPS games, and swing by the streams because I stream every single day on this very YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. First link in the description. Those of you that have been watching the streams know that I played and streamed Battlefield 2042 for the first time in 3 months. And it was kind of weird returning back to that game because I totally forgot so much about it. But I know the game very well still, right? I know what to expect when I played Battlefield 2042. And coming from Delta Force directly to Battlefield 2042 is very jarring, but I've been having more fun, actually significantly more fun, playing Battlefield 2042 than Delta Force. And that's crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. But it's also not very crazy because the reasons are very simple. Battlefield 2042 is a Battlefield game. So it plays like a Battlefield game, right? There's no shady matchmaking going on. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the maps that I play on Battlefield 2042 are significantly better in some areas than the maps that I play in Delta Force. And early on in Delta Force, particularly with some of the first maps that I played, I was saying, the Delta Force maps aren't great, but I'd say they're a little better than Battlefield 2042's. Since then, at least with a few select Battlefield 2042 maps like Haven and Redacted and Spearhead, I would say that I actually enjoy playing Battlefield 2042's maps a little more. And the entire reason I'm making this video, and the entire reason for the title of this video, is I've learned a few lessons during the time of playing Delta Force, and some very valuable ones. And I think the number one is, you can always try to compete with Battlefield, but you can never actually replace it. And the other lesson is, the next Battlefield game better be absolutely nothing like Delta Force or Battlefield 2042. And I'll extend that to multiple aspects, right? When you walk around Delta Force and Battlefield 2042, there's an undeniable sense of soullessness. Everything just seems too perfect, a bit plasticky, a bit stiff, and overall, it just doesn't come off having any aura. It has zero aura, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing that creates the feeling of Battlefield. There's no atmosphere, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's no immersion. And longtime viewers of the channel are probably going, okay, well, who paid Enders to say there's no immersion? Like, Enders doesn't care about immersion. But no, that's not true. I've always acknowledged Battlefield having this sort of aura, immersion, atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, about the games, particularly with, Battlefield 1. Everyone mentions Battlefield 1 when they talk about the atmosphere of Battlefield. I've always acknowledged it existed, but I just didn't really care that much about it. I've always focused heavily on the gameplay mechanics. But Delta Force in particular showed me why you absolutely need to naturally create some sort of atmosphere for your game, or else it just comes off as feeling like a doctor's office, literally sterile. Nothing is there. And you may ask, well, how are you going to actually create that for the next Battlefield game? It's very simple. It's a combination of many, many things. The graphics, very important. The destruction, the sound design, all that really culminates into one. And taking a look at Battlefield 2042's atmosphere and immersion and all that sort of stuff, the same thing rings true. I think everyone would agree that the setting and the overall feeling of previous Battlefield games, such as Battlefield 3, ranging all the way up to even, some people would argue, Battlefield 5, they're just better than Battlefield 2042 in that regard. Moving away from that feeling of a Battlefield game to talk about some more specific things, when you take a look at Delta Force and Battlefield 2042, they both have this operator theme going on, and like I said previously, just get rid of specialists, get rid of operators. If they're in the next Battlefield game, it's dead. I'm just going to say it right now. Dead game, no one cares, shut it all down, I'm deleting my YouTube channel. I am not really a guy that cares too much about that sort of stuff. Like, I played Battlefield 2042 for a very, very long time and played McKay and all these other characters. But even I have to acknowledge, it's just old now. I think everyone doesn't care about these specialists and having abilities in every single game, and hopefully we will see this hero/specialist trend slowly subside, and I would love to see the next Battlefield game start that new era of video games. EA has already stated multiple times regarding the next Battlefield game that they're going to be returning to their roots, so I hope that rings true with multiple aspects of the next Battlefield game. And for this section of the video, I want to touch on a very specific feature that I see mentioned so many times whenever people talk about the next Battlefield game, and that is the next game having a server browser, RSP, custom servers, whatever you want to say. This feature is undoubtedly a make or break feature for a lot of people. I imagine if some people figure out that the next Battlefield game does not have a server browser, they won't even buy it because they see that as EA basically not keeping their promise with returning to Battlefield's roots. The best Battlefield games that I have personally played have all had server browsers, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. So with that being said, can we trust EA and DICE to actually put one in the next Battlefield game? In my opinion, no. In fact, I would say there's about a 60 to 70% chance that they completely ignore our requests for a server browser, and instead, there is no server browser, we're still stuck with this matchmaking system, and then on top of it all, they implement skill-based matchmaking or some sort of advanced curating matchmaking system. And I'm dead serious, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want to discuss this because it might seem like it's a bit too early to discuss the possibility of this, but it does have massive implications, and there is a non-zero chance this is going to happen. Delta Force gives us an insight as to how a Battlefield-style game would play with a matchmaking system that sort of heavily curates the lobby experience. Let me just guarantee you right now, it sucks, all right? It's not very fun. It's not a fun experience. That's why I just said in this video, I've been having a little more fun in Battlefield 2042 than I've been having in Delta Force. It's the matchmaking. It's the server experience. The entire premise of a Battlefield game is predicated on the fact that it is a random sandbox experience with completely random players on random maps and a random server, blah, blah, blah. It's basically just a pure experience. The very moment any sort of skill-based matchmaking or engagement-optimized matchmaking is added to a combined arms game, it ceases to be what it was. If they add S-PWM to the next Battlefield, it is not Battlefield. Okay, I just want everyone to really understand that. It is not Battlefield anymore. It's gone, it's dead, it's over. And the entire reason I'm bringing this up is, don't forget, EA really calls the shots here when it comes to that, and they're going to look at Call of Duty, they're going to look at all of these games, and they're going to really take a hard look at the matchmaking and what it's doing for Call of Duty's revenue, if it's actually worth putting it in Battlefield, and I guarantee you they've already done this. So like I stated on Twitter when all of this new Battlefield news was coming out, we will see if EA chooses the dark side. Will they listen to their community for once in their life and not completely fuck over Battlefield by implementing this garbage? Or will they choose the dark side and try to make as much money as possible and kill Battlefield as we know it? There are two very distinct roads in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. There is the possibility that we return to normalcy and we can browse servers at our leisure, or we will be in basically matchmaking purgatory for the rest of our lives. And yes, I am aware that Portal will be returning in the next Battlefield game, and I assume Portal will have a server browser, but that doesn't mean that the base game will have a server browser, and Battlefield 2042 showed us that. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. Thank you to everyone that does that. Subscribe to the channel to follow Battlefield and a bunch of other FPS news. And join all the Discords and follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. All links are in the description. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.